today's pour, I haven't mixed any Floetrol in with any of these, but so got these cheap plastic cups at the Dollar Tree, 10 for $1, so I'm pretty excited about that, and very excited about this. So it's a strainer that fits exactly over the top. That way I can actually strain the Floetrol and hopefully not get any chunks and lumps along the way. So a couple paints that I've gotten today. So CraftSmart, cheap, easy, yeah. So I went ahead and decided to grab 5 of the metallics. So metallic blue, I thought it was cool. The metallic white pearl, the metallic brown, which looks like a bronze, the silver, and then the champagne pearl. I like this better than the gold. The gold was very yellow. And then I picked up some neon. So today it's about experimenting with some different colors and see how these paints work with some Floetrol, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so a couple prep things that I've done. This is just a canvas, but I did wet the back. I noticed I had one canvas that I really don't like. I'm going to have to throw it away because I can't even scrape the paint off of it. Where I didn't make sure that was good and taut and didn't like the results. So I have mixed all of my paints. I reused the stirrers, so I asked Savannah to be my handy dandy assistant and label the stirrers. So once I clean them, as long as I don't put silicone on it, I should be good. But so they all have been mixed with 1 part paint, 2 parts Floetrol. Most of them, what I liked about this CraftSmart is they're quite a bit thinner, so I didn't really have to add any water. They're the right thickness. So I did look on my handy dandy chart. It's going to take me 4 ounces of pouring. Handing the camera over. And I've got this kind of blank white. I'm going to hit my corners so I don't have to feel pressure to get there. Kind of, and then give myself a bit of a kind of a bed to pour on. So the plan is to get all my corners well coated. So if I choose to get to them, I can get my edges good and smooth. Kind of just, and then get a base coat of paint so it has something to kind of flow into. And then I'm going to use that white. So that white is just a bigger jar of it that I've kind of pre-mixed, and that way since I'm probably going to use it on just about everything, it seemed to make sense that I make a large jar. So again, I'm just trying to get, my goal right now is to get my corners completely filled in. Do you think we need the light on? Sorry. You can hit pause. So we've got a good coat all the way around the outside. Sorry about that. Are you recording? Okay, so sorry about that noise. I set a timer. I'm also varnishing a previous painting, and it said to do a 30 minutes between coats. So set a timer for myself so I could kind of keep track of what was happening with it, and it's nowhere close to being ready for a second coat. So, all right. So I'm flooded. My goal is 4 ounces in my cup. Not sure how these neons or the metallics will work, so Savannah loves the neon. I'm going to put the silver in first because I kind of like silver. I'll do half of it. Put a second layer in there somewhere along the way. So we're going to pour down the sides so we get our good layers. Metallic bronze. pearlized white. So again, this is kind of a trial of some paints that not used before. Decided to go cheap way. I do have some Liquitex and some other higher end paints, but decided to see what happens when you go value shopping. And kind of see what these metallics kind of do along the way. As of right now, kind of like...
You know the yellow's not going to show because it's in between the green and blue.
You could say that louder, what?
The yellow's not going to show because of the blue. It's going to turn green. And then you have green on top.
Okay, so I'll put another layer of yellow. Is that what you're thinking? Okay. A little bit more bronze. A little bit more blue. And we'll go with that. It's about 4.5 ounces, so we're about where we need to be. Okay. So you can kind of see layers down the side. There's no silicone in this, so I'm just gonna pour it and see how it goes. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Already, I can see some of the metallics. And it does look a little bit muddier than what I'm used to, and that's okay. Give it a rest, let it kind of fall over some edges. Stretch out some of this right up to the corner. That's good. Okay, kind of liking the bubbling that's happening here. The one thing I have not invested in yet is a heat gun. What I have been using is a hair dryer. I do like the bubbling that's occurring. Those cells coming up. I do want to kind of move this, get a little bit more texture. So I'm going to grab a straw. Ooh, almost really liking how this yellow and green right here is looking good. Can you center the picture, please, on the camera picture, please? Sorry.
It
Ooh.
is. It's already on.
As it sits here, we can see a lot more bubbling is happening. I think I'm actually going to use the blow dryer on this. So the pinks are even coming up. The hair dryer. So what I'm really liking about this one is all these bubbles coming up with the metallic blue along this edge. The textures in the bubbles. And again, this was zero silicone. This was just the metallics and the neon paints from the that section. And I'm really liking the texture that I'm seeing in this. I'm going to let it sit. Because I don't want to touch it anymore. I don't want to mess it up. I like the texture. I like the balance. I like the colors. I like this kind of threading that has happened after I hit it with the hairdryer and a few more of the cells that have popped up. So I'm going to let it sit and hopefully it doesn't flow too poorly to the center, or hopefully I've got it good and balanced and it'll stay like it is.